Hello and welcome. The title of the message today is How Can I Help? But let's begin by affirming together our opening statement. There is only one presence and one power in my life and the universe, God. So I invite you now just to take a deep breath and release it back to universe. Perhaps one more gentle but deep breath, filling your lungs, holding it for a short time and relaxing and releasing. Allowing your body to relax. Allowing your mind to become more still. And bringing your attention to this moment right now. We open ourselves to the Comforter, the Teacher within us, Spirit, so that something that is said in this message will touch a place in you so that you know that it is yours to do. And so it is. Amen. So how can I help? February is the season of Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is where we share love, where we recognize those we love and share gifts and thoughts with those we love. Jesus talked a lot about love. And so did Paul. And I'd like to read for you this morning from the Lambda translation and the letter of Paul to Corinthians. This chapter is often read at weddings, but I would like to read an area in 1 Corinthians chapter 13 that's not often read at the weddings. And we'll be reading verses 1 and 2. Though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels, and have not love in my heart, I am become as a sounding bass or a tinkling cymbal. And verse 2. And though I have the gift of prophecy, and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith, so that I could remove mountains, and have not love in my heart, I am nothing. So there's all of these gifts, all of these things that Paul is talking about here. And he emphasizes that without love, none of these things matter. We could have a commanding knowledge of language. We can know how to receive the voice of God. That's what he means with speak with angels. But if I don't have love in my heart, then I'm just a clanging, just a sounding of the bass. I'm just letting it all go to the wind. It doesn't really matter. Because if I don't have love, none of it matters. And then in verse 2, I could have the gift of prophecy, understand all mysteries. I can understand all knowledge. And I can have the faith that would remove a mountain. But if I don't have love in my heart, I am nothing. What does he mean here? This idea of love in the English language can mean many things. I'd like to share with you a couple of jokes that help to illustrate this point. And maybe they're funny as well. I love how the earth turns on its axis. It means night and day to me. And the other, if you really want to know who loves you, lock your dog and your wife in the trunk of your car for 3 hours and then let them out. We use this word love in lots of different ways. Love essentially is what we give our attention to. What we give our attention to is what we love. Love is an attracting force that is within us. What we love is what we attract into our life. So love. In this month of February, we're going to celebrate love. And I'd like to do something a little different here in my short YouTube talk. We share the daily word at Sunday service every Sunday, but I don't often read it here in this setting. But I'd like to share with you the daily word because it has direct bearing on the idea, how can I help? Because we're talking about love, so how does that go with, how can I help? And maybe this will help clear it up. Now, I read the Daily Word, which is a publication of Unity World Headquarters. You can find them online at unity.org. And I use it with permission from them. The word of the day today is compassion. Compassion. That's a word that's often related to love. I like to think of compassion as love in action. In compassion, there is something going on and we are doing something. The affirmation of the day is, acts of loving compassion build my strength. You see, by sharing this love through our action, we are helping to grow ourselves into being the best possible human being that we can be. We are coming step by step closer to realizing the Christ presence within us. Sharing that divine with the world. Being full expressions of God in this universe. Acts of loving compassion build my strength. And now I'd like to read some of the message from the Daily Word here. Whether in my community or across the world, many people face hardships. That is true. As a member of the human family, and we are all members, I am inspired to undertake compassionate action and help however I can. Regardless of the form my compassionate action takes, I am motivated to be of sacred service, to bring the love and care of God into manifest form through my decisive action. How can I help? Recently, Unity of Huntsville, formerly known as Unity Church on the Mountain, had an opportunity to take action. I was contacted over Facebook Messenger to our Unity of Huntsville Facebook page. Since it was an online contact, I was very careful because there are so many people out there trying to scam us out of this or that. But the person who sent the message was someone I recognized as being part of the spiritual community in Huntsville. I'd seen that name before. So I reached out to them, and then I went to the group and clicked like on their page so I could see what posts were coming up. There was a group of women from Ukraine who are living in Huntsville. Turns out they're all naturalized citizens of the United States. And they were interested in finding a place that they could have a bake sale and craft sale in support of a village in the Ukraine. Sending medical supplies, sending food, sending money so that they could buy things like water, warm clothing. If you're interested in participating in this opportunity to have compassion for the victimized people in Ukraine, you can go to the church every third Saturday. I'll have information in the newsletter coming up this Wednesday about the specific times. But let's say it starts before noon and goes into afternoon and ends before the evening. But the point was, I had this information. I began to take action using caution, prudence, good stewardship, not to give away something that the church has, which is this space, for a cause that was not in line with our mission of transforming lives and inspiring people to make a positive difference in this world. So I reached out to the group itself. I spoke online with their informal leader, asked some questions, discussed it with the board, and invited them to come to church on Sunday. This was about a month ago. They brought about 4 people, maybe 5, and shared what it is they're doing, how it is they're using the money that they raise. They had receipts. They had pictures of people that were being helped. It was very nice. And it moved us to want to help. So this was a way that Unity of Huntsville could take compassionate action in the world, helping to make our world a more positive place to live. And so we are offering our space to this group every third Saturday without charging them for it. And I encourage you to support this effort just by showing up, seeing what they have, speaking with these people about what they're doing, and perhaps buying some yummy baked goods. I hear that there is a thing that they make called borscht that you can't buy in the United States. It's, I think, some kind of soup. I look forward to having my first bowl. The question is, though, how can I help? I have this love. It comes through me. It is part of being an expression of God in this universe. It is built into our image, the DNA that we inherit directly from God, because God is love, so we can't help but be love. There's a saying that St. Francis is accredited with: that which we are seeking is that which is seeking us. That is this mutual shared love of the divine. You may have felt this longing. That longing is longing to bring you home. That is the attractive force of God, pulling you closer to the divine presence that is already in you. The more you long and give your attention to this love, the more you are attracting it into your life. And the more that we can help in this world, following the guidance that comes from God, taking appropriate action out of love with no expectation of any return, we are growing the presence of God within us. So as we celebrate the love of Valentine's Day, I encourage you to ask yourself, how can I help? Thank you. Let us close by sharing together our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. Amen.